welcome back to This Day. We want to welcome Joan Milliman. She is with the Golden Rain Foundation. She's a board member, and we're going to get an update on what happened at the last meeting. Thanks for coming, Joan.
Yeah, hi, good morning. And yeah, we had quite an interesting meeting.
I listened to some of it when I was working here on our broadcast. So
Yeah.
I was part of the meeting.
You were part of the meeting. Oh, that's great. I hope everybody gets a chance to watch it because we had some exciting stuff.
So one of the things you guys did is you have the CEO did a comparison of basically the costs of foundation costs compared to other communities that are similar around here. What we're paying and what other folks are paying.
Well, not only the cost, but the amenities,
right? The services,
the number of units they have, in comparison, and home values, and the years that they were built. We're pretty old, but we also have a lot. She included other communities, even from Arizona, Maryland, Virginia, New Jersey, so we had a pretty good picture.
And what do you think that picture kind of tells folks here in terms of cost and with the amenities and the services?
We're really lucky for what we have. The cost is low for the amount of things you get. We're kind of an amazing community, so unique.
And do you think that is partly because so much of the infrastructure has been here for so long that things are working well, or is it also good management and we're using the monies efficiently? I know people want to make sure that the money they pay in are going to the right stuff.
Oh, yeah. All of the above. And she did. Then go ahead. The next thing she did, as you see, was a comparison of the assessment from GRF.
Right. From the year to year.
From 2014 to 2024 today, and by the chart you can see that it hasn't increased very much. Over the years, it's only increased 1.9%.
Yeah.
And
that's amazing.
That's 0.5% a year.
That's actually pretty amazing for most associations like that do raise a little more than that.
Well, our mutuals have had a little more.
They've had a little more, right?
But GRF has remained pretty much the same.
Okay.
I hope to keep it that way.
For the near future, I see, hopefully. So I want to update on the Enterprise Resource Planning, ERP update, and that's a biggie.
This was probably the most exciting thing in the meeting. Chuck Holland gave a wonderful presentation on the Enterprise Resource Planning. I have to remember what that ERP stands for. ERP is an unusual thing. It's a whole software system that integrates all the business processes and functions into a single unified system. Today, our system is old, out of date, cobbled together in many ways, with several systems working on different parts of the functions. Parts go for business, parts go for service orders, parts go for word processing.
So it's a little bit of a Frankenstein setup. We're taking different parts and making it all work.
Chuck has made them all talk together, but they're old. They're 20 years old, and they're not going to be supported anymore. I mean, they aren't going to be updated anymore. So we're going to be in big trouble.
Right. If you can't get the updates from the suppliers anymore, then you're in real trouble. So this is really just kind of an end of life. It has to go, and the new system's going to come.
For sure. And what the ERP will do is to unify everything. And of course, it takes time to transfer to that, and they're working on it. But the new ERP is going to be cloud-based, and so it's going to be very safe. We chose Microsoft Dynamics 365, although there are other programs out there. This is the one we felt was best for us. And we're very well protected from cyber interference,
Right, and that's a biggie. I mean, when you hear about hospitals or other groups getting kind of held hostage on ransomware attacks or that kind of infiltration.
We experienced that
right here in the village that happened a while back, right?
Chuck is very aware. It took him many weekends and many months to get it back together. Microsoft does protection, but we also have an outside agency that monitors us all the time.
Okay.
And the installation actually began in 2022 in 3 phases. And we're still on the first phase, which are financials. And that'll be up and running this August.
Okay.
And the other 2 phases will be finished by next year. So the ERP's got some, not only does it enhance the operational efficiency, but we're going to go into a new age. This is a new kind of integration. We consolidate all the obsolete software systems. Will be there, but they will be changed. And
Right.
this is one thing it will do is reduce our capital expenses because it's subscription based and updated every 3 months automatically. We don't
Okay.
have to pay for new software just to
comes-
get the
it just
newest
goes
thing.
auto
It just
updates.
does it.
Right.
And the cost for the subscription and the cost for the upgrades in the past, more than just break even at least, and we actually will do better. It's a very long-term thing, and we hope to meet the needs for many years to come.
Now, let me ask, how will residents see a difference in any of this? Will they be, oh, well, the services, or is this really kind of an internal operational
It's
thing?
more internal. You'll experience it in the efficiency. You know, you can put something in and it'll go through much faster.
Right.
And
The work order gets created
the work
immediately,
order
something
is
like
done,
that.
and it goes right where it's supposed to, and you don't have to go through 3 different kinds of software to get there, or to pay the bill.
Right.
Whatever it takes, but it's all one, and it's very smooth. So I'm looking forward to it.
What were some of the kind of biggest challenges in getting this whole thing up and going?
Oh, I think figuring out what we have and transferring or translating that into the new system. And that's what takes so long. They ran into some more than they expected. And so it took them it's taking a few more weeks than we expected.
It's always a heavier lift than you hope, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, are they kind of doing a beta test of this before they bring it online?
Everything will be tested.
They already
Everything
have
will
it going a little bit, and they're kind of mirroring the systems
Before
right
it comes
now.
online, it'll all be fully tested. Of course, yeah, right. They do.
Then the real test is bringing it online,
And the
right?
real test will be us using it, or them using it. I mean, the staff using it mainly.
Now, do you think there's kind of going to be a learning curve even for internally for folks to kind of, okay, this is there going to be a lot of training
I think there'll
involved?
be less learning curve for us residents, but for the staff, there will be a learning curve, and they're training now. Even now, they're getting upgraded on what to expect, and they've got many training sessions coming.
Might take a minute or two.
A minute or two, but once it's going, it'll be just fabulous. And the training will go before it's out there.
Right.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you even know this, but will there be, when it goes fully online, is it going to be kind of an all hands on deck situation? Are they kind of planning for that? Like everybody needs to be available and around in case there are problems on the big launch?
I think so.
Yeah, you think so?
I don't
We
know.
hope so. Fingers crossed.
Sure, of course. And Microsoft is,
And that support
big
will be there
backup.
too.
They're there.
Yeah, that's terrific. Well, let's talk a little bit about the ID cards.
This is the last thing that kind of came up at the meeting. We have a new proposal for just charging for ID cards, because in the past, people have not been returning their ID cards when they leave the village, for one thing, and others lose them and then find them again, and they've got 2, and they give one to the relatives.
Right.
There are things gaming the system.
Yeah, now you don't have to stop at the gate anymore, kind of thing.
Right.
And so you guys have come up with a kind of a new plan in terms of fees and how it's going to work?
Yeah, these are the basic fees. For a new ID card, for a non-owner occupant, it's $25. New ID cards for new resident owners, there's no charge. New ID cards for lessees, sub-lessees, renters, lodgers, and so on is included in the application processing fee. So there's no extra charge. ID card renewals, that's for lessees and mutual 50, again, no charge. But non-return or failure to surrender an ID card, $125.
There's the biggie.
There's the biggie. And there's another one. Unverified loss, destroyed or stolen ID cards not returned, $125. But replacement card for a verified loss are destroyed cards and stolen cards. And by verification, they mean a police report.
Right, some sort of report that says, hey, there was a break-in in my car, or there's a break-in in my house.
Or I can't find it. You have to have some proof that it's missing. It's only $25.
And do you think the higher fees are going to cut down on folks trying to game the system and that kind of thing?
I certainly think so. I think so.
What was sort of the pushback? I know there was some pushback at the meeting back and forth about the fees and why should we be punishing? Some folks really do, lose things, that kind of thing.
I think we still have to work out some of the kinks. But the one kink I saw was, you lose your card, do I have to report it to the police? Mm-hmm. This says you do. So I don't know.
Yeah. Now, can police be? I mean, is it police a wider? Can it be Laguna Woods security?
This says police theft record.
Okay.
And I asked, well, what security do?
Yeah.
You'd think so.
Right.
But that remains to be seen. This is on 28-day hold, so there's some kinks to be worked out.
Yeah. Because I would think that, and then I don't want to overstep, but from my perspective, I would think, oh gosh, a police, I wouldn't want to, if I lost my card, I wouldn't want to call a police officer to bother them with coming out, taking a report, and that kind of thing, right? Right.
This is something that's going to be discussed again in, I guess, the security committee.
Okay. So none of this is finalized yet. This was like
this is proposed, and we have to put it on a 28-day hold because of that we're required to do it by the state.
Okay. Were there any other concerns that were brought up during the ID portion of that?
No, that was the main one.
Right.
What if I lose my card?
Right.
Do I have to go to the police? Well, this is still.
Because the effort was to stop having people game the system in terms of giving it away or saying they lost it and that kind of thing.
That's the main thing.
But then the folks who really do have a genuine, hey, I lost it, I don't know where I dropped it, but there's not going to be a police report kind of thing, though then they're going to pay that. So the word of warning, be careful with that card.
Be careful. That's it, isn't it? We want to make sure that people really value the card. Mm-hmm. We're required to have the card on us all the time, like your driver's license.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And some people don't know that, especially if they're renters or, they don't realize they have to have that ID card.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's still time for folks to come in and speak to this issue at the next meeting?
No, but you can send emails and, to the
foundation.
CEO's office.
Okay, CEO's office.
Yeah.
Maybe have some of that heard before the 28-day hold is expired.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It's important that everybody throw in their 2 cents at this point.
There you go.
Or their $125.
So how are things at the GRF in general? I know you're the secretary there. You've been serving for quite some time. Are you enjoying the process? Are things going well? It seems like they're going well overall.
They seem to be pretty smooth. We are a nice team, and we work pretty well with the mutuals. Mm-hmm. The only thing that happens sometimes is people forget what is a GRF problem and what is a mutual problem.
Right, and I can see how that would be confusing for folks,
It is confusing,
right? Yeah, even you guys might be like, is that ours or is that United?
Yeah, and we often have to help people understand, well, this is a mutual problem. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or the mutuals have to help a person understand, well, this is a GRF problem. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so people have to learn where to go to get their problems solved.
Anything else big coming up on the agendas that you know about that were some of the big things?
Right now, I don't.
Oh, good.
This is it.
Good. That was the biggie.
There may be surprises.
But the ID and the software integration, those are two big challenges, big hurdles.
I know one other thing I forgot to mention. The website's going to change.
Uh-oh.
It's going to get better, much better.
That's good. I like the sound of that.
And that's going to happen this year.
Okay.
It's being worked on. It's going to happen pretty quickly. When it happens, it'll just boom. We're going to have that transition. It'll be suddenly more smooth. You find things that you couldn't find before, and it'll be easier to navigate. So I'm really looking forward to it.
And like the other integration, is there one already kind of a beta site up, and they're working on it, doing it, and then they're going to slide it over?
Again, that's right. That's exactly what will happen. Okay. They're not going to do it in pieces. It'll kind of be done in pieces back here.
Yes.
And then suddenly you'll say,
the big premiere. We'll look forward to that. We'll have to have you back to talk about that.
Yeah.
Joan Milliman from GRF, Secretary, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Michael. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. And we'll come back with some announcements and the weather. Stay with us.